Hello everyone, welcome back to Constitutional Drug Series. This is Dr. Gayatri, BHMS and REBT counselor, and today we are going to discuss the drug Sepia, which is complementary to Natriumur and Ignatia. So first we'll see the physical appearance, how Sepia female look. Again, Sepia is a predominantly female remedy. Mostly, if we say out of 100, 95 to 98 times we give it to female. Very rarely we give it to male personality. Sepia women, they are very thin, bony, and they have a long neck and digits. As you can see, I have underlined. Face is bony and angular and sharp. सो अगर आपको कोई बहुत ही थिन फीमेल दिखाई दे जिसका क्लैविकल विजिबल हो या नेक विजिबल हो, लॉन्ग नेक रहता है उसका, वो फीमेल सेपिया होती है. वेरी मच थिन, टेंड्स टू बी वेरी स्लिम. And one more important thing is, a great many of the sepia women who have not found their true identity, they become overweight with time, since they become sedentary and use eating to diffuse some of their sense of dissatisfaction. मतलब later half of the life, sepia women might be overweight. So वो कभी कभी पेशेंट्स ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, फीमेल, मैं पहले बहुत पतली थी, अब भी बहुत ही बिल्कुल भी बदल गई हूँ, मुझे ही अच्छा नहीं लगता. सो दिस सिम्टम यू कैन थिंक ऑफ सेपिया. पहले बहुत मैं पतली थी, बहुत सुंदर दिखती थी, बट अभी मैं ही आईने में अगर देखूँ तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता, मेरा वज़न बढ़ गया है. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी इज़ सेपिया पर्सनैलिटी. So in short, she is very much thin with long neck, bones may be visible, and narrow pelvis, narrow hips, waist is narrow, very slim, dark facial and bodily hair. And if you want to give it to men personality, then you can think of sepia woman look जो कि सिमिलर रहता है. अगर ऐसे कोई टाइप का आदमी दिखे तो आपको सेपिया देना चाहिए. कीनोट फॉर सेपिया ड्रग इज़ द इंडिपेंडेंट वुमन. सो जस्ट रीड इट फ्रॉम फिलिप बेली. ही हैज़ गिवन वेरी नाइसली द शेड्स ऑफ सेपिया and comparison it with phosphorus, silica, natriumur, pulsatilla. Even we are going to discuss it, but once go and read it from Philip Bailey, even Kent, Boric. So now you will get an idea कि जो भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं वो सारा कुछ एक जैसा तभी है ही सारे बुक्स में से. अगर हम वो क्रक्स देखे तो बोरिक में भी ऑलमोस्ट सेम लिखा है. फिलिप बेली में माइंड ज़्यादा एक्सप्लोर किया गया है. देन केंट यूजुअली डिस्कसेस अबाउट फिज़िकल जनरल्स, मेंटल जनरल्स, एंड उसने सारे केसेस के अपने बताए हैं, स्टोरी टाइप उन्होंने लिखा है डॉक्टर केंट ने. बट जो ओवरऑल आइडिया है वो सिमिलर ही रहता है. सो आपको ऐसे 3-4 बुक्स तो पढ़ने ही चाहिए. अदर मेन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ सेपिया, दे आर, she likes sour things but she will get aggravated by it. She has axillary offensive sweat, feet sweat and hand sweat, as like of Cilicia, but Cilicia comparatively is more offensive than sepia. One more thing is indifference to the loved ones. She weeps very easily like pulsatilla, but she is independent too. She has her own mindset, own mind thoughts. She will not tolerate domination. She loves freedom. मतलब जो कि आजकल की फीमेल्स रहती है, जॉब ओरिएंटेड, career oriented female, so they are mostly sepia personalities, you can say, or you can confirm it by asking little leading questions to them. Also, she get very easily offended. She likes to be in her own company. She loves freedom. Also, she loves travel. एंड घर के काम उसको ज़्यादा पसंद नहीं है, करेगी वो, बट शी लव्स हर वर्क मोर, और या फिर ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि जो उसको पसंद है, जो वो करना चाहती है, वही वो करेगी. अगर उसको किसी ने टोका, सो शी विल गेट ईजीली ऑफेंडेड एंड शी कैन बी एंग्री. हर एंगर इज़ ऑल्सो मोर. She is very much angry. She is chilly patient, and if she sits down for long period of time, she get numbness in the lower limbs. Tongue is white coated. And one more thing, for example, अगर आपके क्लिनिक में अगर कोई हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ आए, दोनों अपने अपने कंप्लेंट्स के साथ, so wife will never let husband talk, she will talk in between. That patient is sepia patient. क्योंकि हम दूसरा बोल रहे हैं तो शांत बैठते हैं ना, कोई भी अगर फीमेल हो, बट शी विल से कि इनको ऐसा होता है, नहीं नहीं इनको ऐसा होता है, सो शी विल come in between and talk in between. So such kind of patients is sepia personality. Now we'll go to the first paragraph. It acts especially on portal system with venous congestion, stasis and thereby ptosis of viscera, and weariness and misery, weakness, yellow complexion. Yes, one more keynote is yellow saddle across the nose, and all the facial bones are prominent look-wise. Bearing down sensation, especially in women during menses or during menopause. You can say for uterine prolapse, first degree you can give, upon whose organism it has most pronounced effect. Pains extend down to back, chills easily, tendency to abortion. Third month abortion is very characteristic of sepia drug. So during pregnancy, third month abortion, recurrent tendency of abortion, you can think of giving sepia. Hot flashes at menopause with weakness and perspiration. Perspiration is usually offensive. Upward tendency of its symptoms, means Boric mentions here the direction of symptoms. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल अगर नी पेन है तो वो नीचे की साइड से नहीं जाएगा, वो अपवर्ड साइड में जा सकता है. ईजी फेंटिंग, ball like sensation in the inner parts such as abdomen or rectum. Sepia acts best on brunettes. All pains are from below up, as I mentioned. One of the most important uterine remedies, tubercular patients with chronic hepatic troubles and uterine reflexes feels cold even in warm room, as she is chilly patient. She is extremely chilly. And sepia is also given for pulsating kind of headache, that is it can be given for migraine complaints also. Then comes mind. As we have discussed the summary in the first, she is indifferent to those loved best. She is indifferent to children. पीटेगी वो बच्चों को, अगर उसको गुस्सा आए तो वो बच्चों को भी पीट सकती है, हस्बैंड को भी मार सकती है, और इतना गुस्सा रहता है उसका. दैट इज़ इनडिफरेंट टू दोज लव्ड बेस्ट, एंड शी इज़ वेरी मच इरिटेबल एंड एंग्री. वो भी गुस्सा रहता है क्योंकि उसको जो करना है, वो फ्रीडम जो है वो उसको मिला नहीं है, इसीलिए वो गुस्सा ज़्यादा रहता है. अवर्स टू ऑक्यूपेशन, टू फैमिली, easily offended, dreads to be alone, very sad, weeps when telling symptoms like pulsatilla. Anxious towards evening, एंड इंडोलेंट, यूजुअली वीकनेस रहता है, कभी कभी कोई काम करने की इच्छा नहीं होती है. सो दिस इज सेपिया माइंड. अभी हम अगर कंपेयर करें नाइट्रम म्यूरेटिकम और सेपिया का ड्रग रिलेशनशिप, सो दे आर बोथ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री टू ईच अदर. इवन सेपिया पर्सनैलिटी कैन नीड नाइट्रोम्यूर, बट बेसिक डिफरेंस लुक वाइज जो है, नाइट्रोम्यूर बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल है एज़ कम्पेयर टू सेपिया. सेपिया के पर्सनालिटी में ज़्यादा गुस्सा है एंड इरिटेबिलिटी ज़्यादा है एंड इंडिफरेंस ज़्यादा है. नाइट्रोम्यूर में इंडिफरेंस उतना नहीं है, इरिटेबिलिटी है, बट वो सेंसिटिव भी ज़्यादा रहती है एंड इतना इंडिफरेंस नहीं दिखाई देता जितना सेपिया में है. ग्रज सेपिया में इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है जितना कि नाइट्रोम्यूर में दिखाई पड़ता है. नाइट्रोम्यूर पर्सन विल लाइफ लॉन्ग रिमेन दैट ग्रज और दैट रिसेंटमेंट, वेरियस सेपिया विल लेट गो. लाइक 2-3 दिन के बाद शी विल लेट गो इफ़ एनीथिंग हैज़ हैपन्ड और एनी इंसिडेंस हैज़ हैपन्ड. उसके दिमाग में रहेगा बट वो ऐसे ग्रज टाइप दिमाग में नहीं लेके रखेगी. शी विल लेट गो ऑफ इट. देन डोमिनेशन एग्रेवेशन बहुत ज़्यादा सेपिया में दिखाई देता है. नाइट्रोम्यूर एज शी इज सिंसियर, सो शी लिसन टू everyone and if she agrees with that, she will listen to it. Sepia will not listen to anyone if that is contradictory to her. So domination aggravation and contradiction aggravation is there in Sepia. Weeping in front of others Sepia में रह सकता है, weeps when telling symptoms, whereas नाइट्रोम्यूर में नहीं होता है. She can't cry in front of others. So ये basic difference है. Both are chilly patient, वो एक similarity है. Natromure craves salt. Sepia craves for sour things, mostly sour things and spicy things like pani puri, chaat, ऐसे चीज़ें. Perspiration, feats and axillary, they are very much offensive in Sepia as compared to Natromure. Particularness or dignity is more in Natromure than Sepia. So yes, now we'll go to head complaints. There is vertigo with sensation of something rolling around in head. Pulsating headache is there. It also can be given for hair fall complaints after delivery, like Natromure, if constitution matches. So it can be given for postpartum depression also, postpartum hair loss kind of things, or menstrual irregularities also. Nasal complaints: thick greenish discharge, thick plugs and crust, yellowish saddle across the nose. This is typical of Sepia. You can think of giving it in cases of melasma also. Atropic catarrh with greenish crust, chronic nasal catarrh. Yes, so this is very important as this is a chronic and polycrest and constitutional drug. We usually don't give it in acute cases, we give it in chronic cases. Then we'll go to eyes complaints. Muscular asthenopia, ptosis, ciliary irritation, venous congestion. Eyes complaints are rarely seen, but yeah, we can give it in tarsal tumors, ptosis, etc. Ears, herpes behind ears. Sepia is a good remedy for skin complaints. Herpes behind ears on nape of neck, pain as if from subcutaneous ulceration. Yellow blotches, pale sallow face around the nose and cheeks. Tongue is usually white coated as like of Natromure. Natromure is more mapped, like fully coated white tongue is seen in Natromure. Then one more characteristic of Sepia is it द टंग गेट्स क्लियर्स ड्यूरिंग मेंसेस. अगर ये बहुत ही मतलब डिफ़िकल्ट है पूछने के लिए, बट अगर कोई होम्योपैथी पेशेंट बन के आए तो आप पूछ सकते हैं कि ड्यूरिंग मेंसेस अगर आपने आपका टंग ऑब्ज़र्व किया रहेगा तो वो कैसा दिखता है. अदरवाइज़ आप फॉलोअप्स में पेशेंट को बोल सकते हो, अगर कंफर्म करना है आपको ये सेपिया मुझे देना है करके, तो वो कंफर्म कर सकते हो. क्योंकि टिपिकली द टंग गेट्स क्लियर ड्यूरिंग मेंसेस. देयर इज़ फीलिंग ऑफ गॉननेस in stomach not relieved by eating, nausea at smell or sight of food, in gastric complaints, worse lying on side, tobacco dyspepsia, everything tastes too salty. Nausea is majorly seen in morning before eating, so we can give it in hyperemesis gravidarum complaints also during pregnancy. But look whether there is no tendency of abortion or so, because then it will create haphazard symptoms. Longing for vinegar, acids, pickles, and worse after milk. Yeah, so she craves for vinegar, acids, and pickles, and milk aggravation is there when boiled. Like gastric symptoms may get aggravated, or even skin complaints if the patient is suffering from urticaria. Sour eructations are present. Abdomen is distended, flatulent if she has got gastric dyspepsia or GERD, such clinicals. Then it is very good remedy for constipation and hemorrhoids also. Fullness, ball-like sensation is seen in rectum, even in stomach. So if in case you get this empty goneness or ball-like sensation anywhere, then you can try to confirm sepia. This is very important sensation. Prolapses ani, stools are difficult to pass, even soft stools. It is also a symptom of alumina. She suffers from diarrhea because of boiled milk. So you can ask whether आपको दूध से कुछ तकलीफ़ होती है क्या. ऐसे सिम्टम्स कंफर्म करने में बहुत ही हेल्पफुल रहते हैं. देन यूरिनरी कंप्लेंट्स, क्रॉनिक सिस्टाइटिस और UTI, रेड adhesive in urine. Male complaints, organs are cold, offensive perspiration, discharge from urethra only during night, no pain, condylomata surround head of the penis, complaints from coition. She gets aggravated after coition because of dryness of vagina, and there is prolapse like sensation. So this is one more keynote of sepia female. She gets aggravated from sexual intercourse. Natremure also gets aggravated, but as compared to sepia, it is less in natremure, it is more in sepia. She has averse to coition because of that. So this is the leading remedy for such complaints. Pelvic organs relaxed, bearing down sensation as if everything would escape through vulva. Some other drugs are belladonna, creosote, lilium tig, natrum car, podophyllum, etc. Must cross limbs to prevent protrusion. Leucorrhea is yellowish green, which smells like a fish like odor. Menses are too late, irregular. Morning sickness, as we have earlier seen in stomach complaints. Respiratory complaints are dry, fatiguing cough, chronic cough, oppression of chest, dyspnea worse after sleep and better by rapid motion. Philip Bailey, rapid motion means dance. For example, I am giving here. Philip Bailey mentions that she is better by exercise, violent exercise and dancing. She is born dancer, and she will not dance for anyone else, she will dance for herself. So Philip Bailey beautifully mentions Sepia. You just read it from Philip Bailey once. She is sensitive, she is emotional, yet she is very much strong-headed and independent woman. At the end, we'll just go in short through Philip Bailey. Whooping cough is there in respiratory complaints. Violent intermittent palpitations, beating in all the arteries. One more keynote or characteristic is there is weakness in the small of back. आफ्टर डिलीवरी हो सकता है, ड्यूरिंग मेंसेस हो सकता है, या ड्यूरिंग प्रेगनेंसी हो सकता है. सो ये सिम्टम्स बहुत मार्क्ड है सेपिया का. देयर इज़ पेन इन बैक एंड वीकनेस इन स्मॉल ऑफ द बैक. Pains extend into back, coldness between shoulders. Lower extremities are lame and stiff, and there is heaviness and bruised kind of feeling. So even if she sits for 5 to 10 minutes on floor, ज़मीन पे अगर वो बैठी तो उसको numbness या heaviness जैसा feeling रहता है. Even if she is not suffering from sciatica or osteoarthritis or एनी नर्व पैथोलॉजी, अगर उसको ये नहीं भी है फिर भी अगर वो 5-10 मिनट बैठी नीचे उसको वो नंबनेस फील होता है. या अगर सोफे पे भी फॉर एग्जांपल बैठी हो और ज़्यादा देर बैठी तो उसको 5-10 मिनट्स फॉर इन सेपिया केसेस immediately she will start having numbness and heaviness. One more characteristics is there is coldness of legs and feet. Even hands are cold, legs are cold, and feet are cold, and perspiration can be also cold. So you have to check for these physicals also. We will not discuss fever as we generally don't give it for fever. We'll directly go to skin complaints. Herpes, ringworm like eruption, urticaria on going on in open air. See, now pulsatilla usually is better by open air. Even natremure sometimes get aggravated by wind, and urticaria in sepia is worse by open air. So this is how you can differentiate. Modalities: worse in evenings, worse by washing and laundry work, dampness, cold air, and before thunderstorm. Better by exercise, pressure, hot applications, drawing limbs up, cold bathing, and after sleep. Complementary to natremure, phosphorus. और यूजुअली ऐसा बोलते हैं कि सेपिया पर्सन इज़ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ नाइट्रोम्यूर एंड फॉस्फोरस. सो अगर आपको थोड़ा बहुत कन्फ्यूजन है कि ये पर्सन नाइट्रोम्यूर भी हो सकता है या ये पर्सन फॉस्फोरस भी हो सकता है, ट्राई टू कंफर्म सेपिया. सो ये एक टिप है. नैश में एज आई सेड मोस्टली इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू बोरेक्स राइटिंग ऑल्सो. सो विल जस्ट directly go into important part which I felt to share it with you all. The mind symptoms of sepia are like pulsatilla in that she is sad, cries frequently without knowing the reason why. So in tearful mind with uterine disturbances, pulsatilla should fail you. The next remedy to be studied is sepia. But there is another condition of mind not found under pulsatilla or any other remedy, that is, notwithstanding there is no sign of dementia from actual brain lesion, the patient, contrary to her usual habit, becomes indifferent to her occupation, housework, her family, even to those whom she loves best. This is very popular or peculiar symptom and is a genuine keynote of exhibition of sepia. So here there is tip of differentiation between sepia and pulsatilla. Also, sepia is very much thin in appearance and she has long neck. Pulsatilla, there is a short neck with obese and medium built appearance. And pulsatilla is a indecisive personality. She can't take decision on her own. She is dependable, whereas Sepia is independent. She has her own thoughts. That is one more addition to it. Yes, so Sepia is independent, offensive, auxiliary, and foot sweats. Desires sour things, but even can get aggravated by it. Then she is thin, she is bony, narrow hips and narrow waist. So this is physical appearance. Then aggravated by washing or laundry work, and better by violent exercise or drawing limbs up and hot application. Numbness while sitting down uh, is another keynote. Then fainting easily is another keynote. Tongue is white coated, all gone sensation or ball like sensation in organs like stomach or rectum. Nausea early in the morning is another keynote. Then nausea and vomiting by smell and sight of food is most important keynote. Domination, aggravation, desires, freedom, these are usual and peculiar symptoms. Now we'll just go through Philip Bailey as he has mentioned it very beautifully. She seeks to be herself unfiltered by the expectations of others, especially those of men. In this, she differs from natural women who generally seek independence as a reaction against the hurt they have received, a protective mechanism. Sepia is naturally independent. She is not running away from anything like Natrum. She is just being herself, refusing to let other people mold her personality to their own ends. So that's why domination, aggravation, and she is independent. She wants to be herself. She can easily grasp hidden mysteries which cannot be seen by purely deductive masculine reasoning. Sepia loves to delve into hidden mysteries, whether of personal psyche or of more philosophical nature. Kant gives the rubric theorizing. And like phosphorus and china, she has the sensitivity in many cases to intuit what she cannot deduce intellectually. For example, a Sepia woman will usually be able to tell if her husband is being dishonest, even though he has left no tangible clues. So she can read it. We can say she can read it. Then Sepia is like cross between phosphorus and natrium muriaticum. As I earlier mentioned it, if you are confused between these two, one can say Sepia is mixture of phosphorus and natrium. She is usually more grounded than phosphorus, more down to earth and sensible. Hence, she is able to make more use of her intuitive faculties. Natrum is also highly intuitive, but her intuition is liable to become mixed with personal unconscious fears and also with wishful thinking. Sepia is more to be impersonal when it comes to intuitive information and does not suffer from compulsion of natrum to make things appear either positive or dramatic. She is natural seer who is not only intuitive but also grounded. She is down to earth and grounded. In contrast, phosphorus tends to get carried away by flights of fancy, and natrum often distorts her intuition. Like true wise woman, Sepia is liable to keep quiet about her intuitive faculties, and not only to avoid scorn and persecution in past, but also because she is not that egoistical about her abilities. This is a beautiful symptom that she is not egoistic about her own capabilities or abilities. She is very wise, and her wisdom tells her that those who need it will be guided to her. So down to earth is another keynote. जो घमंडीपन होता है वो उसमें सेपिया में ज़्यादातर नहीं दिखाई देता, बट नैटरम्यूर में वो होता है, सेपिया में नहीं रहता. She is liable to favor people she likes and ignore those she dislikes. Sepia is there is quiet poise, was physically graceful, entirely free from pride. Sepia simply does what she is good at, generally has no need of elaborate intellectual constructs to justify what she is doing. Sepia embodies feminine wisdom and intuition, whereas Pulsatilla embodies nurturing and sensuous side of woman. She generally has a sharp intellect but is not interested in mechanical or dry intellectual knowledge, which she leaves to men and more masculine women. Instead, she focuses on the knowledge which is direct about life itself, like healthy Ignatia women. The Sepia women are likely to become horticulturists, vets, nutritionists, doctors, nurses, but not company directors and statisticians. So, some of the careers are given of Sepia personality. Then comes the dancer part. Sepia woman loves to dance and she is better by that, by vigorous exercise. She can feel the pleasure of her physical energy that Sepia is often attracted to dance. She needs activity to feel alive. She is very graceful. Kali is generally stiffest of all, while Phosphorus and Sepia are generally as loose as goose, and Natrum lies in between, with some stiff and some loose. This is important. Sepia's natural rhythm lends itself to musical ability as well as dance. Kent write sensitive to music. This is the rubric given by Kent. There are many gifted Sepia musicians and also good many Sepia artists. Sepia may be little less visionary than Phosphorus and Lachesis, but she often has great sensitivity when it comes to five senses, sensitive to sensual impressions. Sepia needs some degree of freedom and independence to be happy, and this is why so many Sepia women become either bitter or depressed when they sacrifice their individuality to the service of the family. That is indifference. That's why she become indifferent to those loved best. Sepia women are usually being themselves rather than looking for approval. She will not look for approval. She is just being herself and she wants freedom. Sepia tends to be a mixture of introvert and extrovert. Like Medorinum, she is generally sociable and able to mix with all types of people because she is herself. On the other hand, she needs time to herself to go within and then to come out and be creative. Her introversion is not that of depressive who dwells upon unpleasant thoughts and feelings from the past, though the unhealthy Sepia may do just that, but rather than meditative focus, which is richly rewarding rather than depressing. So she tries to be more meditative than going into a depressive thoughts. Emotionally healthy Sepia woman who is her own independent self generally has a high but well controlled sex drive, and as long as she honors herself in relations with men and does not simply submit to the personality of other, she gets a great deal of pleasure from her sexuality. In keeping with her natural independence, the healthy Sepia woman likes to remain in control of her body. She cannot bear thought of being man's sexual spittoon, and hence she will refrain from sexual relations until she either finds a man who will not try to possess her, or she will have her brief or intermittent affairs. In between times, she generally more able than most of women to switch off her sexual urges or to sublimate them the other activities such as social, artistic, or sporting pursuits. That's why she is having aversion to question, because of mainly the thought process, and she has dryness of vagina. One more characteristic is Sepia is actually less liable to become bitter than Natrum because she suppresses her anger less. She reacts easily and she will speak it out. That's why. A good many Sepia women are given phosphorus by mistake, particularly the more extrovert, effervescent ones. Even the scatty Sepia woman is generally a lot more focused mentally than phosphorus, at least most of the time. Furthermore, Sepia is not a dreamer to anything like same extent as phosphorus. She is sometimes very upset by suffering of others. She is seldom overwhelmed or affected for long by another's feeling, whereas phosphorus can be so empathetic that she totally loses herself in the other person. To confuse matters further for the student and inexperienced homeopaths, a good many of the in between sepias have some of innocence of phosphorus. They are often quite naive about worldly things, both because they are excessively on men to take care of them, also because they are often uninterested in mundane matters like politics and financial matters. Sepia is capable of being a loving wife and mother without giving up her identity. The healthy Sepia mother is less sentimental and less possessive towards her children than most other mothers. But she is not cold, please note. Her own strength of mind tends to rub off on her children, making them more independent and individualistic than other children. She is an equal partner in her marriage and takes as many decisions and as much responsibility as her mate. But this does not mean that she is unfeminine. On the contrary, her wisdom, her natural connections with her body, and her understated, somewhat mysterious sexuality is most feminine in a strong, uncompromising way. Yeah, so this is Sepia, female personality. Thank you. Do comment in comment section if you have any doubts. We will discuss it.